Well, hello, everybody. We're just waiting for a few people to come in. We've got the gorgeous Charmaine Broughton who is standing by. I'm just going to check to see that we are live on Instagram. And we are, and you look perfect. Let me just check your other camera, Charmaine, to make sure that we are good. We're perfect. Oh my gosh, first time in our life, my life, we're perfect. Let me just back my stuff up here so that I'm not cut off. How are you, my lovely?
I am excellent, thanks. How are you? I'm excellent, but I'm also so excited to be here.
Well, listen, it's not the first time that you have been in front of the screen. I mean, you've been on breakfast television, CTV Morning Live, all across the country, really.
Yeah,
I'm going to say long before your cookbook, but certainly since your cookbook was released.
yeah. I started doing media more regularly in about 2015. I started doing fairly regular segments, and since the book has been out, it's fairly regular on steroids.
Regular and on steroids. And I'm just going to quickly copy and paste a link in the Instagram. I see that we've got a few of you on Instagram right now. I'm going to invite everyone to join us at approvedtoshop.com. I've just pinned the comment in Facebook. And another way that you can do that is by commenting delicious. And when you do, you will get taken to our VIP live shopping room. And from there, not only a chance to win a $25 gift card from Starbucks, but Charmaine, you have also offered an exclusive saving, 25% off of your incredible, delicious, and doable cookbook. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. I want delicious and doable in the hands of as many people as possible because my whole goal is to inspire people to get in the kitchen and recreate delicious and doable recipes with ease. So if 25% off is, incentive, then hey.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make it easy for everyone. And really, that is kind of what your cookbook is about. So it's delicious and doable recipes for real and everyday life. So when I was reading, the foreword and a bit of your bio, Charmaine, and again, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Approved to Shop. You're watching on Instagram right now. You decided one day, what, just miraculously to write a cookbook, or was this a long time coming for you?
Oh, it was definitely a long time coming. So I before I even decided that, okay, today's the day I'm going to start writing delicious and doable. I had a loose manuscript for well over a decade. So I am a trained chef. I just want the viewers to know that I'm not just, somebody that over COVID decided to, get into cooking or whatever. I am a trained chef. I've been in the food industry for 30 years. And early on in my career, I was I'll call it lucky. I met Dana McCauley, who wrote the foreword to my cookbook, Delicious and Doable. And she owned a boutique style food consulting firm. So I worked with her. So she really taught me the art of writing a recipe because it is an art, it is a skill. And she was also very generous. Yes, the firm itself would develop and write recipes for a number of different publications, but she also, gave us opportunity to like go out on our own and write little articles here and there, which was like my claim to fame almost 20 years ago. So I had kept a loose manuscript for all those years, and it was one of those things where I kept saying, okay, on Monday, I'm going to start my book. I'm going to put pen to paper and I'm going to make this happen. And I'm going to make this happen. The Monday turned into 2 months later, turned into a year later. It's one of those projects. If you're an author, I'm sure you can relate that it's very easy to put off. And then in 2019, I got my own cooking show, which was, an absolute dream come true, called Inshar's Kitchen. Yes. And it is filmed right here in my kitchen. I actually just wrapped up the 4th season and I have 2 spin-off shows as well. So when I got my cooking show, viewers would message me and they would say, do you have a cookbook? We love your recipes. You're so relatable. Like, I love your show. Do you have a cookbook? And every time I had to respond saying like, no, I don't, it pardon the pun, but like ate away at me. So then one day I was like, I have to make this happen. So I think it was 2020. 2020, I was like, okay, this I have to write my book. So I took that loose manuscript, which had hundreds of recipes, and I narrowed it down to I believe there's 72 in the book.
72,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and but even with the loose manuscript, what I want the viewers to know, even with the loose manuscript, it took me basically 2 years of full-time work to bring this to life, because I wanted to write a book that people were going to use day in and day out. I didn't want to write a cookbook that people would buy. They would make one recipe, it would be too fancy, or the recipe, or excuse me, or the ingredients were, they had to shop at 6 different stores just to make a salad. I wanted to write a book that people were going to use like day in and day out. And I'm so thrilled that that is the feedback, again, pardon the pun, that I've been getting. In fact, somebody, I should have screenshotted it. Somebody bought my book on the weekend. She messaged me this morning and she said, I just want to let you know we made the shepherd's pie. It was absolutely delicious. Thank you for writing a cookbook that I'm actually going to use.
I love it. And Charmaine, we've already got people in our live shopping room. So
Oh, hello.
Rose is there. She says, I watch Charmaine whenever she is on morning TV, like breakfast television.
Thank you, Rose.
Or CHCH. Love her recipes and personality. Oh, and she says, and she misses me on TSC. I tell you what, Rose, this is exactly why I wanted to do Dawn's Deep Dive on Approved to Shop. It's an interview series, and it's really open to a lot of different categories and brands. And I really wanted to be able to highlight authors and cookbook authors, because this was part of the favorite thing I had, even when I was working on breakfast television, Charmaine, is bringing inspiration. And you've got some great food that you've made for us this morning from your cookbook, and to be able to not only show what is possible, but to give you all of literally the goof-proof tips. Like, for instance, you've got this broken down into, several different categories, again, about 72 recipes. You've even got an area for gifting. So here we have a Christmas tree in the background. You want to make some like almond bark. You've got great tips in there. And on top of that, you've got areas to write notes. You've got, your D&D, which is delicious and doable tips, which might be, like substitutions and stuff. Like, you don't like cilantro. You're like, I got you, babe.
Right. You can use mint, or if you wanted to make it gluten-free, you can use this, or if you don't have this, you can do that. So when I say I spent 2 years of full-time work and I already had the loose manuscript, that just goes to show the amount of work I put into it, because I wanted the feedback to be exactly what it's been. And I have shivers. Like when I heard Rose's comment there, I have shivers, because I absolutely love what I do for a living. It's not only my passion, but it's like my life. So when I get feedback like that, it just literally makes my day.
We've got questions. Many of you are streaming and watching on YouTube. You're watching on
Wonderful.
Instagram. Okay, so everybody, the book it's normally $32, but today and today only, Charmaine has offered 25% off. She's applied it directly at checkout. So the best thing you can do is comment delicious. So I think that was Drew, you were watching and asking how much. So it works out to, I think, $24. It's an unbelievable deal when you realize the things you can make. And a lot of this is using items within even your own pantry, of which Charmaine also offers like a great, here are the things you should just always have. Now, if you are shopping with us for the first time, when you go to approvedtoshop.com, not only can you watch live, but you actually just press a button while you are watching us, and it takes you directly to that checkout with the saving already attached. If you happen to just go, you know what, I don't want to go anywhere else, that's fine. Although it's the easiest way to shop, you can always go to Charmaine's website, charmainebroughton.com. And of course, from there, she has also got the checkout, but that is a limited time offer. So please do that, Drew. Hi, Patricia. Cleo, great holiday gift. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. You actually created this, I guess, first and foremost, almost as a gift for your family before it even really made its way to market, right, Charmaine?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I mean, as you know, you have the book. I talk about my family a lot in the book. And these are all recipes that I really do make and create in my real and everyday life. Yeah, there's myself and my 2 kids and Greg, and we're eating the ultimate supper sandwich. And this is that sandwich is like one of the my family's favorite meals that I made. And the reason why I wanted to note that is because people always, or for a long time, people thought because I was a chef that, you know, on a Wednesday night, I was like deboning a leg of lamb or deglazing a pan with expensive oil. But no, yes, I was a chef, but I was a mom of, my boys are in their early 20s now, but my boys were really active. So on a Wednesday night, I had to get dinner on the table quick and delicious and doable, just like everybody else, right? So that ultimate supper sandwich was so great for multiple reasons. And I talk about it in the book, but it's a great way to use up a bunch of, bits and pieces that you have left in your fridge. Maybe you've got a few pieces of deli ham or, a little bits and pieces of spinach or grated carrot. You literally load it all into the hollowed out pumpernickel loaf there and cut it into pieces. And you've got these big wedges of sandwiches. And still to this day, my kids, when they come home, they will ask me to make that.
I love it. And I will say, so you've broken up the books into great sections. So that sandwich, which I was just showing everyone the picture, and again, type delicious because it is, and you'll get a DM right from me to get right to the live shopping room where you can access not only that saving of 25%, but you will be automatically entered to win a $25 Starbucks saving card, which we're going to give away in about 40 minutes or so. But that's in the hand to mouth section. So you've got AM Grub, which if anyone follows you on Instagram, you were making some of that good stuff. Hand to mouth, which is all the, again, sandwiches.
Can I just say something about the hand to mouth? And I talk about it in my book. So maybe this isn't very eloquent, and perhaps I shouldn't. Well, I admitted it in my book, so now I'm admitting it, to thousands of people. I love to eat with my hands. I think that cutlery is overrated. So anything I can eat with my hands, so I had to devote a whole chapter to eating with your hands, handheld foods.
Well, you made something for us. So what do you have there that you made? I think it's the Char's salmon burgers, correct?
Yes. Is this in the hand to mouth chapter, or is this in the burger? Yeah, in the hand. Okay. Yeah. So this is my salmon burger with a caper lime mayonnaise on a brioche bun. And I teach this recipe a lot in cooking classes. And you know what I want the viewers to see is, as you can see, so yes, I'm a chef and so on, and it's my book. But as you can see, mine looks exactly pretty much like the professional picture.
I was just going to say it looks exactly the same.
Right. And that's another like feedback that I've been getting, that people are saying that they're recreating it and it's looking exactly like the pictures in the book. So I do have to credit my food stylist who was able to capture my not so perfect style perfectly, because again, I am not about perfection. My goal is to inspire people to get in the kitchen and recreate delicious and doable recipes with ease for real and everyday life. I get everyday life. I would never, even as a chef or when I'm teaching cooking, I would never tell people that they have to go out and buy an $80 bottle of wine to deglaze a pan on a Wednesday night. It's not realistic. At least in my life, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's the key, right? Who's like, ain't nobody got time for that. And I will say it's very impressive that this not only looks exactly as you made it, but also your whole philosophy, Charmaine, is about being fuss-free. It's about getting in the kitchen. And you know what I love? You've got, with each recipe, you've got your D&D, which is delicious and doable tips. So for that salmon burger recipe, I'm going to read it. I'm going to do a spoil alert. Hosting a cocktail party. Divide the mixture into 16 mini patties. Serve as bite-sized salmon cakes. Don't like capers? Take them out and put dill pickle. So, I mean, this is really how you make, when you talk about it being recipes for real and everyday life, you really are talking not only about your life, but you're talking about my life. You're talking about Anna's life, who's watching, Justin, who is watching, Rose, who is watching. You also talk about your own, both on your blog. If anyone goes to your website, they're going to find that you do blog, but also in here, you do talk about a journey that you've had with food that maybe some others of us have. And I will say that when I go and look at cookbooks and when I'm searching cookbooks and I'm on TikTok Shop and I'm doing all the things, so often it's like what is always front of mind is keto, calorie restriction, here's your diet, this and that. You have created such a balanced book here, which does acknowledge maybe gluten-free, if you're celiac, any of that kind of stuff, but you also leave space for dessert. And that has been such an important part of your own journey with food, Charmaine.
Absolutely. I personally believe that having your cake and eating, or having your cake or having your caramel rum sauce or your coconut rum blondies that are all in the book, or the Mile High s'mores bars, I'm a firm believer that having your cake and eating it too is truly one of the best things that you can do, or one of the healthiest things that you can do. To live in deprivation is absolutely, it's not realistic. Oh, look, and I've got them right here. My double-decker gingerbread fudge. Yep. Look at how all made with pantry staple items.
I love it.
Methods of cooking you do not need a degree in culinary arts for. Anyhow, I am a firm believer that the healthiest thing that you can do is have your cake and eat it too. And yes, as you mentioned, people will always say to me, "Oh, your cookbook is like pretty healthy. How come you didn't put like make a claim on the cover, like it's healthy or it's this and it's that?" And there was method to my madness. The reason why I didn't want the word health in it, and I talk a lot, as you mentioned, about my journey with food and so on in the book, is because these days everybody has their own idea of healthy. Some people are keto, they eat bacon and butter, and that's healthy to them. Some people are vegan, that's healthy to them. Some people don't eat carbs, that's healthy to them. I eat literally everything, but again, in moderation. I mean, fitness is a huge part of my life. It's just, just a massive part of who I am. So overall, yes, I eat healthy, but again, I also eat the, double-decker gingerbread fudge. Anybody that knows me personally knows that I love to eat.
But what a great, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say, what a great, though, also thing that you can take. It's, I've got my tree up. It's holiday season. I know that makes it kind of into the sweet treats section, but you've also got a section called Gifts from the Kitchen, which also, and you created this chapter because you said when your kids were young, you didn't have a lot of money. So come the holidays, your food was your love currency and love language.
I mean, my if I feed you, that is my love language. Just know that. But the Gifts from the Kitchen is such a near and dear chapter to my heart. So when my kids were really young, we didn't have a lot of money and they were in sport. So any mom or parent out there knows that come the holidays, you've got to buy for teachers and crossing guards and coaches and, and the list can go on and on. So my kids were really I think they were maybe grade 2 and 3. And I said, let's get into the kitchen and start making gifts from the kitchen because that's kind of all we could afford. And I will tell you, and when I retell this story, because I get asked about it often, I do get choked up because it just goes to show that gifts from the heart are so appreciated. And we would give these gifts, these homemade gifts, and it was nothing, out of the ordinary. Again, I was taking pantry staple items and turning them in to something like this, something like the fudge, and just going to the bulk food store and picking up nice wrapping and packing it up and giving it to teachers and so on. And these gifts were so well received, especially from teachers. And what the teachers really liked is the fact that I got the kids into the kitchen. They were learning a life skill, because I always say cooking is science, math, and life skills. So the teachers really appreciated the fact that that my boys made these treats, because there's learning to that as well. So basically now, if you know me, you get a homemade gift from the kitchen. So here we are, 15 years later. And because that meant so much to me and meant so much to the people I gave it to, I devoted a whole chapter. And I say right in the book, we didn't have a lot of money. I had to make things from scratch.
Yeah, well, you're like the every person out there. And I will say, even for people that have money, do you know the one thing often they can't get is something that is made with love, right? Everyone thinks you've got to buy something expensive. And I will say at $24, if you're watching right now on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I'd love to see you at approvetoshop.com. If you go there and you hit that little plus subscribe, you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card from Starbucks, which we will draw in about 30 minutes or so live on air there. So I would love to see you here. And on top of it, Charmaine has been so generous to offer an opportunity for you to make this maybe a gift for someone to put under the tree and to give the gift that keeps giving. She has knocked 25% off of her book price. You can get to that deal by approvedtoshop.com. You just click a little button when you're in the special room. And if you're dying not to leave Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want to do. Charmaine's also been very generous to just include it on her website. But that deal will expire. So please do not miss out. This never goes on sale. I would say I had to do a little smart negotiating with you, Charmaine, because we really wanted to reward people for joining us on the live stream. We've got Rose here. Again, we got Anna. Anna said, do you have any tips for food prep? Now, before you answer that, I do want to say you have a whole kind of preface in here that says, hey, before we get messy. So would this count, this part, is this counted as prep, or is this different than prep, this chapter?
It's a little bit of both. But do I have tips for food prep? So I think a well-stocked pantry is your you can't go wrong with a well-stocked pantry. And I do mention tips like that throughout the book. Things like oats, pasta. I raised my boys on pasta. If I made them one pasta dish, I made them 101 pasta dishes. Pasta is just a great blank canvas for any bits and pieces that you have kicking around. And don't let anybody tell you, unless you're celiac, that pasta is not healthy. Pasta can be such a fabulous part of like an overall healthy diet. So oats, pasta, beans, like lentils and chickpeas. A lot of the recipes in my book are very lots of plant protein, lots of fiber, because I'm using those pantry staples. For instance, this actually this doesn't have any beans. It has some plant protein because it has some peanuts, and you can use like cashews or almonds. But this is my roasted squash salad with spinach and a balsamic marmalade dressing with dried fruit and nuts. I'm using peanuts. And nuts are a great other pantry staple because they've got, healthy fats and fiber. And then as far as like food prep with even things like canned tuna, anything that's going to make your life easy during the week, don't let people on Instagram shame you into, eating canned fish. If that is a quick and easy protein source for you and your family on a busy weeknight, by all means do that. I've got a great tuna melt recipe in the book.
Oh, let me find it. You know what I was going to say too, and it's funny that you say that, Charmaine, because there's a lot. Sometimes there's shaming on social media where it's like, oh, you bought the rotisserie chicken. You know what? No time to cook it. Buy rotisserie chicken. We don't want to cut vegetables. And we all know there's a cost associated with that, and so we're not assuming that everyone's got money to do that. But your time is money, and if you can, and if that's what allows you to make a meal at home, which by the way still is cheaper than going out.
Yep.
Okay. Then do the things. But you've got like in that chapter, the importance of mise en place, which is basically having everything chopped and ready to go. And so I guess, like the meal prep, all of that you're looking at, if you do want to look through the book, you can literally make every single meal, every single snack, every single gift out of this book, over 72 recipes. And I'm going to find, what did you say? The tuna melt?
Yeah, the lemon walnut tuna melt. That's been a very popular recipe from the cookbook. And I was a little bit reluctant to put it in because I was like, oh, are people,
too fancy for it? Right. Yeah.
Or
I love it.
I thought maybe people would turn their nose up at it. It has been such a popular recipe. People are loving this recipe. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh, Brenda said, yummy, love that idea, and healthier. So I think she was talking about, you might have been talking about either canned fish or lentils. Brenda, let us know what you were talking about. Oh, okay, Brenda, do you ship internationally?
I ship to Canada and the States. Where's Brenda?
Brenda, where are you? She wanted to know how much is the shipping cost. So we're not going to lie. The shipping cost, it is the cost. I think it's $19 is the shipping cost.
$17.99.
17.99. But what I will say, Brenda, and for everyone watching, again, Charmaine has knocked $8 off of this. So she's made it even a little bit easier to get it home. And I will say, when you are getting a book like this home, first of all, there's something very special about the tactileness of this book, to touch it. It's not digital, beautiful pictures. It's a high quality book. You make one meal, this meal is paid for itself. What are you showing here? Hopefully, Brenda's in the US. Brenda's in the US. So
yes, I ship to the US, of course. Brenda, yes, of course. Yep. And yes, the shipping costs, there's nothing I can do about the shipping costs. But here's the thing, a fancy coffee's $10. You go through the drive-through and people think nothing of it. I guarantee that if you take this home, and there's no doubt in my mind that you too will be recreating the delicious and doable recipes with ease. You will be saving money. You'll be fueling your body, because like 90% of the recipes in the book are loaded with plant protein, loaded with fiber, loaded with lots of veggies. Sorry, you mentioned lentils before, because I use lentils a lot in my book. And I'm sorry, I forget the woman's name who asked about food prep. But even things like, this is my spicy lentil dip from the book, okay? A can of lentils and can of beans right now, even in today's economy, is about $2.
Yeah.
You can whip up this dish for, even with the other ingredients, let's say $4, if that. What a great excuse to dip those veggies. Grab a bag of carrots that are still fairly economical, chop them up, have them ready to go. And then, people these days, they want to start incorporating more fiber and plant protein into their diet. This whips up in literally, it whips up in minutes. And you've got this gorgeous lentil spread. Now, what I did today, just to make it fancy for the holidays, I garnished it with some pomegranate seeds and some chopped mint, which I call for in the recipe. And then you can just, dip away. But this also works really well, this spread, and I mention it in the book, as a sandwich spread. Instead of mayonnaise or mustard, you could slather this on your bread and load it up with other veggies or meat. Actually, I just did a segment on breakfast television last week. I featured this recipe in a wrap, and then so this was the main protein source, and then I just loaded it up with a ton of other veggies. So yeah, economical and really using those pantry staple items.
Yeah. Okay. We've got Garen, who is watching on Instagram, Carmine, Martin, Woodray.
Hello.
Lee. A lot of you are watching on Instagram. I invite you. I've pinned the comment. Join us at approvedtoshop.com if you don't mind. And if you want a chance to win a $25 saving card from Starbucks, not going to lie, we got to teach you all a little bit of how to shop at approvedtoshop.com. But Charmaine has also applied directly at checkout, even on her website, 25% off. We invite you to join us there. We've got Brenda, we've got Anna, we've got Rose. So many of you are watching right now, and you can see Charmaine is showing there's sweet treats. There's all sorts of great things. And you've even got things like I saw you were holding up pickled onions, I think, before.
Oh, yes.
Can I just say, what a great hack. You throw those on anything, crackers, you dip, sandwiches. That is a dream. And it's so inexpensive.
So easy to make, so inexpensive. In fact, you could, put a little bow. This is not in the Gifts from the Kitchen chapter. It's from the Condiments and More. But you could even put a bow on this and give it to somebody for Christmas, like in a basket with like charcuterie ingredients or so on. My kids literally put this on everything growing up. And again, pantry staple items, it takes minutes to prepare. Ideally, you want to let the onions sit in the vinegar and sugar mixture overnight, just so they get nice and soft and pickly. But look at that, vibrant, pink, beautiful. It really elevates any dish.
And I tell you what, if I don't want, I would make them because they're that easy, but there are a lot of people that they feel they don't have the time, or they don't have the desire, or they don't have the confidence. You know what you could do? Because again, 25% off. You can also, you have a bit of a buy and then ship to. So if you buy this and you want to ship to someone else, put the shipping address, a different address, and your credit card can get charged. It's again checking out directly at charmainebroughton.com. So even when you go to approvedtoshop.com, we're kind of the conduit for that. But you've got sweet compound butter. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I even have a spot when you're checking out, if you do want it as a gift, Like there's a little spot at checkout that says, like I can write a personal note in the book. It's fairly straightforward.
I forgot to
Up on
say
my website.
you're signing these too. So when you pick up
Yes,
your book, I can't believe I buried the lead. Oh my gosh. Okay,
I've
so
been
for
practicing. I've been practicing. You can ask my sister. I've been practicing my autograph since I was 10 years old. I kid you not.
I love
Uh,
it. A sweet compound butter. Char's citrus coconut body scrub. I mean, listen,
yes.
it could officially be edible because it's all natural ingredients, but this is actually not meant to be eaten. So imagine making a beautiful body scrub for somebody. Maybe they're a new mom. Maybe there's somebody who never treats themselves to a little bit of downtime. Like these are the kinds of gifts, Charmaine, when you created this, again, you wanted to make it accessible. You wanted to make
Hmm.
the recipes affordable. A lot of these are pantry items, and you wanted to be able to give people permission to not be perfect.
Well, that's it. Honestly, if you know me personally, you know that I am a far cry from perfect. I think perfection is overrated, and you know, I keep going back and saying my goal is to inspire people to get into the kitchen and recreate delicious and doable recipes with ease. And if that means that you have to go to delicious and doable tips and switch out one ingredient for the other, or hey, if you don't have this, you don't even need it, or if you don't have this, you can use that. It does not have to be perfect. Um, and that's one thing I really, really pride myself on. And the feedback, again, that I've been getting is just that people can whip up these delicious and doable recipes with items they have in their pantry. It's not breaking the bank. They're fueling their family. They're nourishing their bodies. And yeah, I'm just thrilled with the feedback. I just want to show you one thing, and I'm certain I mention it in the book. So with the double decker gingerbread fudge,
Let me
if
find it.
you
Let me find
saw,
it. Keep
I
going.
was
I'll find it.
I was just spraying on this edible glitter, and I'm certain I mention it in the tip. And you can find the edible glitter just in the baking section of your grocery store or at bulk food stores. And then you've taken, the pantry staple item and sprayed it with glitter. You can wrap it up in nice packaging. You can either eat it yourself or give it as a gift. In fact, speaking of giving in
There it is.
in speaking of giving it as a gift, the body scrub actually I just made for a friend of mine the other week.
And
So
so
I actually this is how I really do live and
yeah,
eat.
yeah, I
I
love it.
truly do.
Well, and
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Like you sorry to interrupt you, Charmaine. I mean, like you really did create something. And I mean, I can't even imagine how many recipes didn't make it into the book because there's only so much. I mean, I'm going to anticipate that at some point there will be a second one. But let me just tell you, what are you doing with your leftover pumpkin? How about a curried pumpkin slow
slow cooker
cooker
stew.
stew? Oh my gosh. Can I
Th-
just tell you, it's so cold here right now. I would love to have this right now.
Thank you so much for bringing that up, because another thing that I did that I am so proud of, and that the readers are really appreciating, is okay. So, for instance, for that recipe, the curried pumpkin slow cooker stew, it's vegan, it's gluten free, it is so nutrient dense, it is so nourishing. Your house will smell amazing. It's just such a phenomenal recipe, and this has actually been one of the most popular recipes from the book too. But what I've done, so in most cases, across Canada, the pure pumpkin puree comes in a 796 ml can. So with that recipe, for instance, it calls for 1 cup or whatever it calls for. So you're going to be left with some. Well, I give a tip at the bottom. I say what to do with the leftover pumpkin. Turn to page, I forget what the page is, and you can make my pumpkin white bean dip, or turn to page whatever, and you can make my pumpkin spice muffins with a coconut crumble topping, which is my best friend Mandy. That's her favorite recipes from the book. I just have to give a big shout out to my friend
Yeah,
Mandy.
and so again, page 51 is the pumpkin and white bean dip, pumpkin muffins with
Yep.
coconut crunch topping, page 21. And I bet you anything, if I go to page 21, there's probably a substitution if you don't like something or other that's in that recipe. Let me see here. Okay. Uh, so there you go. Where does it say here? Okay, decadent twist. Omit coconut crunch topping. So maybe you don't want coconut, maybe you're allergic to coconut, then do something different. Caramel mascarpone frosting, page
Oh yeah.
120. So you don't make us keep looking and searching, like you give us, it literally is a road map to everything that
Hmm.
is delicious and doable.
Yeah. I literally poured my heart and soul into this book because I wanted people to use it in their real, because to me, I was like, what's the point of writing a cookbook? Yes, what's the point of writing a cookbook that's just going to intimidate people? I don't understand why somebody would do that. I wanted to write a book that people were going to use in their real and everyday life. And, just that message I got today was the proof was literally in the pudding. A woman bought it on Saturday. I was in St. Catharines on the weekend doing a pop-up at Runner's Edge. For some of the viewers might know this, but I actually used to be the food writer for Running Room magazine for over a dozen years. So, fitness and is a huge part of my life. I, take a lot of pride in moving my body every day. So on the weekend, I went to Runner's Edge out in St. Catharines, did a pop-up. I met so many amazing people. And a woman bought my book, and yeah, she messaged me today saying, thank you. We made the shepherd's pie. Thank you so much for writing a cookbook that I'm actually going to use, excuse me. The shepherd's pie, it's made with lean ground turkey and a sweet potato mash topping.
I'm just trying to find it for everybody here. Which
out of
section?
You know what? I can't remember. I should
Might
know.
be under my, so while I look for it, let me tell you, on the back here, speaking of the Running Room,
yes.
John Stanton, who is the founder of the Running Room, said Charmaine Broughton's cookbook will inspire, entertain, and provide delectable dishes for you and your crew with its brilliant photos, unique recipes, a must read for all who love great food. And the great food here is, again, as diverse as you could possibly want. Everything from appies to sides to gifts to the sinful treats, and then the comfort food. Okay, what page is that? I got to show it on my side too.
The shepherd's pie is page 94. There's no picture with it, and there's method to my madness why there's no picture. It's because it's almost impossible, even if you are like the best food stylist and photographer in the world, it's almost impossible to get a good picture of a shepherd's pie.
Fair.
But people are loving it. They are recreating it. They are making it. And it's so, especially this time of year, like very comfort food. It's like very much a comfort food.
And when I give ketchup, you use ketchup. And use ground turkey, but you also give out some great tips. Again, D&D tips with every recipe. That is the delicious and doable tips to change it up if you want for variety or for whatever reason. Use russet potatoes instead of sweet potatoes, or use dice up parsnips instead of carrots. And the reality is I'm a bit of an intuitive cook in the kitchen, Charmaine. So like a lot of times I'll look at these recipes and I'll go, so many great ideas. Let me start. And then by the end of it, first of all, it becomes your Bible, which is great. You get lots of substitutions. It's a great roadmap. But as you start to get more comfortable in the kitchen, and comfortable being messy, which you talk about in detail here, you start to become a bit intuitive and you go, you know what? What could I do instead of parsnips? Well, maybe I could also do axe. Maybe I could do a mixture. Maybe I could do, so, because there are some people in all of our lives that will go, oh, if it's in the recipe, I have to do it exactly as, because how many times have you been, on breakfast television or CHCH and someone goes, I don't like cilantro. Can I leave it out? And I always feel like saying, well, of course you can, but I shouldn't make that assumption. There are a lot of people that really, really need permission to do the things.
And I'm so happy you brought that up, because I wrote the book in a way that even if you are terrible in the kitchen, that you can recreate it with ease. So I wanted to write it like I was trying to, when I was writing it, I wanted to write it in a way that, like, for instance, like I'm not techie. I am techie, gives me so much anxiety. I always say I'm not techie, I'm chefy. But I wanted to write the book in a way that if somebody was writing a book about tech for me, that I could actually become techie. So, and again, that's the feedback that I've been getting. People are saying, like, I don't cook that much, but your Tex-Mex rice salad, I love. Oh, my blueberry, those burgers are amazing. Blueberry turkey burgers with a horseradish mayo, they are out of this world.
Love it.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. They're excellent. And all of my burgers, with the exception of the salmon burger, are all gluten-free and egg-free. And the exception with of the bun, but it's all mentioned and outlined in the book. You can absolutely use it.
You've got little codes here too, so it's
I do.
very easy. So I want you to know, like, if we took a tour of this book, first of all, you're going to open it up. There's a great backstory, a foreword, sort of what to expect from this book here as well. You've got, again, the story of the why this came to be. Then you've got the before this gets messy, which literally for those of you that need to be told kind of what to do, this is the only guide that you need. It's tips and tools for kitchen success. So there are dietary icons that are here. You give
Yep.
everybody sort of the tools to have on hand. You give a great list of pantry items because a lot of these recipes use things from your pantry and also have substitutions in case you are lean on cash. Like maybe you can't do a meat protein, or maybe for whatever reason you don't want to. You offer plant protein options. You start your day every day with something for your AM getting ready to go.
Oh, my
And
get
this is
up and go
something
morning
part of you.
muesli.
Yes, you
People
did that
always,
today.
yeah, people yesterday, yeah, people often ask me what one of my favorite recipes from the book is, and this is definitely, this one here is in the top three. So this was the first recipe that I taught my kids how to make on their own, because the great thing with this recipe, my get up and go morning muesli, is it doesn't matter the order that the ingredients go in the bowl, and there's no cooking. So it's just a matter of stirring the ingredients together, covering it, letting it sit overnight, and in the morning you've got this great get up and go morning muesli. And it's economical, it's filled with plant protein, filled with fiber. It's a great snack. That snack, my kids swam competitively when they were young. So after school, I'd put some in a mason jar. And when we'd go to swim, they would either have it on the way to swim practice for them to munch on, and or they would eat it after. Like instead of going to the vending machine and spending, money on empty calories, and I don't even know how much it costs to eat at a vending machine now, but they would eat this nutrient dense snack. So again, just going back, I don't want to go on and on about the shipping, but yes, the shipping $17.99, but you'll get your money back like literally a million times over.
And you've given us $8 off, like with
That's
the
it.
25% off. Tammy Sutherland from Breakfast Television is watching
Oh,
right
Tammy!
now. Hi, Tammy.
It's it was so funny. Tammy and I, we did a segment a couple. I'm gonna laugh. And she called me Charlene. It was so funny. I love you, Tammy.
It can happen.
No. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite TV memories.
Yes. Lily said, just bought mine. She said, the burger got me. My husband loves them and I have no clue how to make them. Listen, there are several burger options. And even the one you just talked about, I think it was the turkey burger with the horseradish mayo. And you could you want horseradish mayo with something different, make the horseradish mayo. Like this is where you start to really use this as an incredible resource. ApprovedToShop.com. If you go and watch the show there, you're going to see the same show, but you're going to see buttons that you can press. If you want to order, it's a direct pathway to Charmaine's site while you watch. On top of that, you will be entered when you are watching at ApprovedToShop.com to win a $25 saving card from Starbucks. I've got a list going here. And I'm ready to add new names. So you have only about 5 minutes left before we do the draw. We've got Anna who is watching. Oh, Nico said, can we buy the cakes too? Well, you can't buy the cakes, but you can make them and you could sell them at the next bake sale.
Yeah, or you can
off of this, right?
Gift them as a gift from the kitchen. I just want to quickly, there's so much, I could go on and on about every single recipe in the book, but my grilled chocolate sandwiches with sweet compound butter, this is deadly. And honestly, it looks fancy. If you can make a regular grilled cheese with, the rubbery cheese, you can make this grilled chocolate sandwich. Perfect for the holidays, maybe for a holiday brunch. You just make a compound butter. So a compound butter is just a flavored butter. So you're going to take the zest of an orange. I figure if you're buying the orange anyhow to eat, you might as well utilize the zest. Just give it a good wash. You mix the orange zest with some butter, a little bit of vanilla. You spread it on your bread. I like to use an egg bread. And then you get thin slices of chocolate and you grill it up as if you were making a grilled cheese. And you get this decadent, delicious, flavorful grilled chocolate sandwich. It's like life-changing.
I never would have thought to do that. Like
It's so good.
it's so smart. And, if you're watching and just joining in our last 5 minutes, this is Dawn's Deep Dive with Charmaine Broughton, who is the author of Delicious and Doable. You've probably seen her on national television. You've probably been drooling over everything she makes when she's live. You can make all of this and you don't have to fear the kitchen. So, for
And you really can make it all. Again,
yes,
my goal is to inspire people. The tagline says it all: recipes for real and everyday life. I am not in the business to intimidate people. I am not in the business to scare people out of the kitchen. My goal is to inspire people to get into the kitchen, save money, eat well, fuel your family, and get back to some life skills that are kind of underrated these days.
lamb shawarma.
Oh, that's like a play on words. So I love shawarma, but I called it my lamb shawarma.
Okay, ultimate supper sandwich. Like, come on. So many great recipes.
Yeah, and that's the one that was my family's favorite recipe that my kids are eating at the front of the book. And again, the reason why I wanted to put a picture of us eating that is because, like I said, when my kids were growing up, people often thought that my kids were eating so differently than everybody else. People thought my kids were eating, filet mignon with like a truffled mashed potatoes. No, I was a busy working mom. Yes, I was in the food industry, but I had to get dinner on the table just like every other parent out there. And that supper sandwich came in handy so often. It was also great. If you were heading off to a hockey tournament or a swim meet or whatever, you make that on the Friday morning, you stick it in the fridge. When you get home on the Friday night, you're in a panic, packing up the kids to get away for the weekend for a tournament. You grab that, you eat that in the car, you're saving money. You're not going through the drive-through, because to feed a family of 4 through the drive-through, I bet you it is almost close to $100 now.
Oh my gosh, it ain't cheap. Let me tell you that. And you're not getting the nutrients. And listen, if you want to treat yourself, no one is going to shame you for that.
Of course.
But you can make some incredible meals. You can repurpose meals into leftovers and reimagine them. Tina said, I'm hosting a Boxing Day brunch.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you, I like the idea of making one of these barks and sending each of your guests home with a little treat. One of your giftables.
My chocolate, rosemary, and dried fruit bark is out of this world. It is so good. Don't be alarmed by the rosemary and the chocolate. The flavors work really well together. It's not too overpowering. There's a woman who bought my book a couple of years ago, and she sends me a picture every single year. And I bet you she makes 30 packages for people. And she sends me a picture every year of it all packaged up in beautiful cellophane. I just want to say one thing in regards to, you said repurposing things. So back to the sandwich, and a great Friday night meal on the way to a tournament is, you can take all the bits and pieces and leftovers and repurpose them that you have in your fridge. Because we all have those, bits and pieces of leftover deli meat, or bits and pieces of cheese, or roasted red pepper, or a little bit of spinach. You pile it all into this. You're using food that would, by the time you get home on the Sunday night, would have gone bad. So you're repurposing it. You're fueling your family because they're getting their servings of, fruit and veggies in, and you're saving a ton of money.
Yeah, it's so great. And you have great tips in here. You could use plant protein. You talk about adding maybe some of your Char's spicy lentil dip, which is on page 163. I wanted to quickly ask you, because we're running close to the end, and I want to do that giveaway. If you're not yet at ApprovedToShop.com, you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, go there now. Hit the plus, subscribe. If you do that, you're going to be entered to win a $25 saving card. All the things that Charmaine is showing you right now are in the book. There's so much more. And tell us about, you were also, this I don't ever see. I remember back in the day when I'd look at my mom's or my grandma's Betty Crocker cookbook, they'd always have like, full scap paper that was shoved in, right?
Yep.
You actually wanted to make sure that this could be part of personalizing the cookbook you created with all this love, care, and attention.
Yeah, so I have note sections throughout the book so people can jot notes down. Again, I took, I tried to think of everything for this book. I mean, it may not be perfect, like, or I think but I'm not perfect. But I really did try to think of everything. So the audience who's buying it can use it and recreate it with ease, and not lose, though, because sometimes the best the best information is on those little notes that you jot in and then you shove in it and then it falls to the floor and it gets put in the garbage or whatever.
Yeah,
So
like
this
you want a
way,
little more salt, or you wanted to use, lentils instead, and you want to acknowledge that you liked it better with lentils. Like, that's okay. You're not going to be offended. Your goal is to make this easy. Your goal is to make it delicious, to make it doable, and to do it
mhm,
today 25% off. You don't have to enter any promo code. If you do want to enter, if you want to enter into the approved to shop room, though, just type delicious in the comments and you will get a DM from me. You can also access at approvedtoshop.com. And if you really, now that we're starting to wrap, if you really just want to go to Charmaine's website, you can get that discount. It's 25% off by going to charmainebroughton.com. And yeah, like the fudge there. I mean, my gosh, like, you've really accounted for the things that will make us healthy, nutrient dense, but you've also acknowledged that life is about balance, Charmaine.
it
Like,
totally
there's
is.
no shaming for anybody in this book.
Oh, not at all. And I talk about all that in the book. Again, one of my I live by to me, one of the healthiest things that you can do in life is have your cake and eat it too, or have your double decker gingerbread fudge
Yum,
and
yum,
eat it
yum,
too.
yum. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, so many. I'm going to cough here. So many great things. Char's 20-minute seafood chowder. You've got literally one of the easiest pasta recipes you could ever create using things I guarantee you have in your kitchen, like for pennies a serving. And then there's,
Hmm.
like, you also say, hey, if you're going to buy truffle oil, here's some of my tips and tricks for that as well. Curried pumpkin slow cooker stew, Char's Tex-Mex rice salad. Like, my goodness,
Yep.
it is so smart. Tina is here. Rose is here. Martin is here.
Hello.
We've got Joe. We've got Brenda. If anyone has any
You know,
last minute questions, go ahead and ask. We're
the
going to answer them.
the Tex-Mex rice salad has been really popular actually with university kids because it uses rice, it uses black beans, which are two very economical and fairly healthy pantry staples. And then the kids just have to go out and buy an avocado and some tomatoes and some other add-ins, and they can make a lot for a little bit of money. So a lot of university kids have been messaging me saying that this is something that they keep in their fridge because it's got the plant protein and the fiber, and they can like pack it up and they can take it to class and not have to stop at fast food.
Look at
Hmm.
this. Over 70 recipes, plus gifting, plus tips and tricks, plus alternative, like, my gosh, fennel, apple, and sweet pea salad. No peas? Use thinly sliced celery stalks. So many great tips. And what's that one right
Hmm.
there? Which salad is that one?
So this is my roasted squash salad with, like, imagine this at your holiday, like it's a holiday showstopper. Roasted squash salad with spinach. You could use kale if you wanted to. I'm using peanuts, but you could do like almonds or pecans or cashews, some dried fruit, and a balsamic marmalade dressing. It's, again, so nutrient dense. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. Lots of nutrition, tons of flavor, and delicious and doable.
I love it. So much here to love. Pick up your copy right now, 25% off. You can go to approvedtoshop.com. You can watch the replay and still access that deal. And also you can pick it up where Charmaine has generously discounted, and I don't even want to use the term discount. You have offered us a bit of a reprieve of $8 because you want to get this under people's tree. You want to maybe get this in the kitchen so that you can start even making some of your Christmas gifts. I promise that you will not be disappointed by this. Charmaine is a trained chef. She hosted cooking classes. She learned by doing. She is you. She has been all of us, and she made these incredible
Mm.
recipes. So you can pick everything up at charmainebroughton.com or approvedtoshop.com. $24 down from 32. Only for a limited time. You're going to be taking that off, I believe, at the end of the day. So this is your time to get that deal. Okay, should we do the draw for the
Sure. Oh,
okay,
and
let me
just
go ahead. Go
somebody was
ahead.
asking about brunch. The
Yes.
croissant pudding with fresh herbs and aged cheddar. absolutely outstanding. Oh my gosh,
I
it's
I
so
love that.
good.
And is it in a sheet? Like, is it in a sheet pan? So is it really, how is it served? I'm just, or is it
Oh,
prepped like in
actually, that's a
bulk?
really good idea for a sheet pan. No, you make it in a casserole dish, like a 9 by
Oh
13
no,
inch
yeah, no,
casserole
that's
dish.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. I just couldn't see from the picture there. So casserole dish, yeah, you don't have to do it in a
But
sheet
I
pan.
like
Like
the
just
sheet pan idea because then every bit would be like crunchy and yummy and delicious. Like, I mean, this is delicious the way it is,
maybe
but
I should write that in the note
in the
section.
notes section,
In the
yeah.
notes section. Okay, just let me double check to make sure I've got everybody that is subscribed. Let me just make sure no one else has been added. Okay, nope. I think we're good here. Okay, here we go. For a $25 gift card from Starbucks. So you can have a little Starbucks with your cookbook. And you're
That's
getting, I'm
it.
telling you what, you're getting a $25 Starbucks gift card. You better be buying that cookbook anyway. You're saving some money here. Okay, here we
Right? You
go.
can have a Starbucks and you can have the pumpkin muffin with coconut crunch topping from my book.
Okay, and the winner is, hopefully I spelt it right, Guillaume. Guillaume, congratulations. You
Yay!
have won the $25 saving card from Starbucks. I will be sending you a digital saving card. So I'll do that by the end of the day.
Congratulations.
And Charmaine, thank you so much for being a part of Dawn's Deep Dive on Approved to Shop. I know that it's a new way of shopping. It's a new way of showcasing your talents. But, you said to me, I want to support female-led business, and
Yep.
I created this channel along with my partner Anna Allen, and everything I do with Live Selling School, so that we can help entrepreneurs get visibility and get new followers and new customers and new fans. So I appreciate you supporting us, and I'm so happy that you let us support you.
My absolute pleasure. I just want to say, Dawn, and I know we've talked a few times over Instagram. I've been a fan of yours. I watched you when you filled in on breakfast television. I watched you on the shopping channel. And honestly, it's my absolute pleasure to support you and your business, because us female business owners and entrepreneurs, we have to stick together. So it's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charmaine. And again, you can continue to type delicious in the comments to get to Approved to shop this incredible book, Delicious and Doable Recipes for Real and Everyday Life, written with love and care. And good on you for taking a bite of that fudge.
Look
Charmaine,
at
I'm
those
like,
teeth marks.
I'm ready for it. This looks so good. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much, Charmaine.